Are you gonna fucking do this shit or what?
Oद्धARK has come to a close. On April 29, Netflix released a final batch of 7 new episodes. Oद्धARK's last season was split into 2 parts, as is currently fashionable. Season 4, Part 1, was also 7 episodes long and premiered on Netflix in January. Oद्धARK has become a part of our life because it depicts how a person is compelled to make moral sacrifices in order to survive in this cruel society and assist their family stay on top. The first 2 seasons were quite heated, and we witnessed the Bide family make some hasty decisions, including terrible killings. Oद्धARK Season 4 Part 1 ended with a bang when pseudo-cartel boss Jaby Elizondo blew the brains out of newlyweds Darlene Nee Snell and Wyatt Langmore. This was the kick in the teeth that started Ruth's grief-stricken fury and put into high gear a few explosive events that even the Bides couldn't work right out of this time. We should get into what truly occurred in the Oद्धARK Season 4 finale. Part 2 begins with Ruth, who is mentally ill, on the hunt for Wyatt's killer. Her furious outburst culminates in her fatally killing Jaby in front of the Bides and Shaw Medical CEO Claire Shaw. In order to protect themselves and Ruth, the Bides inform Omar Navarro that his nephew has vanished and is assumed dead. This puts Navarro in a good position to reconfirm his extradition agreement with the FBI, but he must first reclaim control of his drug gang. He accomplishes this by having Marty personally carry the message that he killed Jaby and temporarily appoint him as his emissary in Mexico. The news is not warmly received, and someone attempts to assassinate Navarro, that someone being his sister Camilla. Meanwhile, Claire Shaw is wary of the Bides after assisting in the cleaning of Jaby's blood from her office flooring. She makes a pact with Ruth Langmore to evict the Bides by supplying Shaw Medical with Darlene's inherited medications. This is ideal for Ruth because, in addition to scamming the Bides out of their contract, she intends to use her newfound wealth to purchase the bulk of the casino, the Missouri Belle. Naturally, they reject, as it is the cartel's principal money laundering industry. Ruth, on the other hand, is a Langmore, and Langmores don't give up easily. Ruth got Darlene's estate and shares in the Belle as a result of the Langmore-Snell marriage. She purchases the remaining shares from Charles Wilkes and has her criminal record wiped, making her the Belle's proud majority owner and the first Langmore in 5 generations to be clean. If only there was a gold plaque to commemorate it. She can buy one, for crying out loud. Wendy Bide, who also has a backbone, manages to entice Claire back into a 5-year drug supply contract with the cartel, as well as a $150 million payment to the Bide Foundation and shares in Shaw Medical for Camilla. The loss of the Belle, on the other hand, remains a significant issue for the Bides, as they needed to launder Navarro's money, and Navarro's extradition preparations have been accelerated from months to days. Ruth, who insists on running a respectable business, says no. So, how do the Bides operate? On top of their quicksand foundation of half-built blueprints, devise a new strategy. Following the hit on Navarro, the FBI says that if he dies, they'd be delighted for Marty to take over the cartel and keep the drug seizures coming. Of course, the Bides aren't going to like that, but it does give Wendy an idea. Kill Navarro and replace him with his sister. Camilla, who is still upset about her son, agrees. Despite Wendy's seeming dark nature, her perverted, intense love for her children implies that none of this matters unless she can reclaim her children. You might be wondering where this came from. Well, in the midst of this life and death drama, her own dad, having learnt she ordered the kill on her brother Ben, coerces Charlotte and Jonah into moving away with him. The revelation drives an already strained Wendy to commit herself, and she refuses to leave the facility unless Marty makes them come back. Marty, who already has enough on his plate, delegated the assignment to Ruth by threatening to reveal the truth about his death to Camilla. She complies and persuades Jonah and Charlotte to realize the truth about their cruel, drunk grandfather, whose true motive was to bring Wendy pain and humiliation. Wendy admits to trying to dominate Charlotte and Jonah throughout their discussion. She clarifies, "Your dad and I were trying to build something for all of us, and I promise I will not trap you inside it." They move on, feeling sentimental, well, as emotional as Bides can get, and agree to reunite as a family. The vehicle crash scenario follows this heartfelt heart-to-heart. You may recall the flash forward at the start of the season. The stereo is playing Sam Cooke, and then bang, the Bides take to the air. They all emerge unhurt and eager to dance the night away at the Belle Bide Foundation gala later that evening, proving that it was all simply a symbol for life's unpredictability. Everything appears to be going swimmingly. The Byads are on their way out of the drug business, having handed over the Missouri Belle's laundry duties to Ruth and Rachel. Legally, of course, can't taint Ruth's spotless record, because the FBI has given her the go-ahead, posing as a cooperating witness. Camilla has a sneaking suspicion that the Byads and Claire know more about her son's death than they're letting on at the foundation fundraiser. Especially after learning that her brother was not to blame. She still proceeds to have him killed and take his business, though, which is kind of bad sibling behavior. The Byads remain chilly and reserved, but a casual reference of a senseless death prompts Claire to reveal that Ruth is to blame. Camilla educates her partner in crime to kill the Byad children in the event that Ruth is cautioned of what is coming. Notwithstanding their unmistakable anguish, even Wendy was beside herself. They resist the urge to panic while the impressive Ruth Limore is gunned somewhere near Camilla at the side of the road. A bitter end to their useless pseudo-family relationship. This note sounds vigorously all through the last venture of OddARK. However, in evident OddARK design, there's one final stinger for the Byads. Mel Saddam, the disgraced cop-turned-private investigator who was eager about demonstrating the Byads killed Ben. Wendy and Marty made things happen to land him his position back as a cop in return for his dropping the Ben case. He concurred at first, yet his ethical compass clearly continued to come up due north. He gets back to Missouri and stands up to the Byads with proof that Ben is dead, not missing, that damn treat container loaded with cinders. The Byads depend on their safeguard strategy of payoff, however this time he can't be purchased. Their fragile house of cards is going to come tumbling down when Jonah whips out a weapon and shoots Mel dead. Indeed, officially little Jonah Byad, who loathes this life, with the exception of when he was keeping Ruth's illegal tax avoidance books, takes Mel out, fixing his own destiny. Similarly, as Wendy at last let go, offering him and Charlotte freedom, his lethal demonstration traps him in the existence she needed to save him from. Marty and Wendy Byad might have accomplished the freedom they looked for, yet this act is an update that their evil deeds have affected and keep on affecting what they esteemed most importantly, their children. Ruth promises to kill Jaby because he murdered her cousin, Wyatt, as we saw in OddARK Season 4 Part 1, Episode 7. The Byads try to prevent this, but when Wendy realizes their efforts are hopeless, she invites Jaby to a meeting in Chicago after hours. Ruth makes good on her threat and murders. However, Ruth isn't the only one who gets entangled in a murder in OddARK Season 4 Part 2. When she and Rachel recombine, they become the target of a man named Nelson. Rachel murders Nelson, to cut a long story short. In the final episodes, Omar Navarro, Felix Solis, the series' main adversary and boss of the Navarro cartel, is also killed. Omar has been seen from prison throughout the season, but he, like his nephew Jaby, does not survive Season 4 Part 2.